I'm Joe Johnson, and he has been on this stage several times as a guest, but first time as a co-host. Welcome, Bob Smith. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to something like this.
A pleasure to have you here in the studio. And like I said, you're no stranger to this studio. We've had you in here many, many times. As people may or may not know, you're the former fire chief of Orion Township, and you were, a deputy with the Sheriff's Department?
Correct, yes. I worked courthouses.
And you are currently the president of the Veterans Memorial Board?
Chairperson.
Chairperson. I got to get that terminology correct.
Orion Veterans Memorial, and
yeah,
I'm on my second year there, so.
All right, so you don't know the meaning of the word retire. You just keep busy, busy, busy.
I wish I could do more.
Right, yeah. Today it's kind of rainy and a little chilly out there, but this is the first time it's felt like fall for a while. We've had unusually warm temperatures up through this past weekend where it got into the 80s. But do you look forward to this time of the year and the cool temperatures and all the activities going on?
You know, I used to, but I'm getting to the point now that I'd rather it stayed like it did last week until May, you know, and then it can kick into spring. But
yeah.
No, I again, because I can't do as much as I used to do as a young person, and I just, it just kind of gets to me. So
yeah, I've been enjoying the warm temperatures. You know, I have a convertible, so I'm able to put the top down and go for a cruise, and I'm enjoying it. But when the temperatures do start to cool off, I really love this time of the year and all the stuff that comes with it. And in a little while, we're going to be talking about some of the activities that are going to be taking place here in Lake Orion to really celebrate the fall season. This past weekend, there were a couple of events going on. I want to start off by talking about the fire department open house. What was it? Sunday kicks off Fire Prevention Week.
correct.
And so here in Orion Township, they kick things off with an open house at Fire Station 1 in downtown Lake Orion. They open up the station. They have cider and donuts and just plenty of photo ops for kids to climb inside the vehicles and put on the gear and operate the hoses. They even had a bounce house. So it's really great opportunity for families to come out to the fire station and really see what it's all about, and the kids obviously love that. Kicking off Fire Prevention Week, Bob, do you have any advice for families on how they can celebrate Fire Prevention Week? What are some things that families should do this week?
Well, for one thing, the first thing they should do, and it's an old cliche, but they need to check their smoke detectors, see how old they are, change the batteries in them. And I know it sounds like it's something that the fire department, or you're always bringing it up and everything, but I can't tell you the number of house fires in my career that when we got there, they had no smoke detectors or they weren't operating or something like that. So, and if you can't afford one or you can't do it, call the fire department. They'll come out and install them for you. That's very important, because there's nothing worse than finding out that somebody got stuck in a house fire and trapped because of they didn't know ahead of time.
Yeah, I remember a number of years ago, the fire department teamed up with Jet's Pizza, and if somebody ordered a Jet's Pizza, a fire truck would deliver the pizza.
Yes.
And with the homeowner's permission, the firefighters would go inside the house and inspect the smoke alarms.
Right.
And a lot of times they would find out that they were non-functioning, and so they would offer a replacement smoke detector or something like that. But yeah, this is a great reminder to make sure that those are all working and functional. I've heard that also this might be a good week to make sure that your family has an escape plan to be able to get out of your home.
That's another important factor, and we don't really have the control once somebody buys a house compared to a commercial property, where doors and that have certain mechanisms that'll release right away if you need to. And that we've ran into a lot of homes that had double locks on them and stuff like that. Then, in fact, a relative of mine had one put on, and I says, well, how? And you had to turn it one way, one lock one way, and so I says, well, you shouldn't do that. And he says, why? He says, I can get out here real quick. And even showing me, he had to remember, he forgot and remembered that. So at least 2 or 3 different ways of getting out of a house, and kids you got to make your kids understand, don't hide. A lot of times they'll go in the closet or something like that. You know, they need to come out and get out of the house as soon as possible.
Right. So have a designated meeting spot. Some people say like a tree outside your home, and do a head count
Right.
at the meeting spot. Now, one of the themes of Fire Prevention Week this week is lithium-ion batteries. I guess there's been a huge problem with them exploding or catching on fire. And I remember my very first iPhone that I had, one night I was looking at my phone and that was the only light source. And I noticed light was coming from the edge of the screen, like the screen had popped up a little bit. So I took it to a phone repair place and said, what's going on here? And they said, your battery is swollen.
Yep.
It swelled up, which forced the screen to pop up. And they said, had you not brought it in, it would have been just a matter of time before it caught on fire. And so, you know, batteries and phones don't have an eternal life. They have a life where at the end of their life, they could catch fire. So make sure that that's a priority this week too.
And I'm not that well versed on the latest technology and everything because I'd retired before that. But I remember when they first came out, we had a house one day where we went in and it was full of smoke and we couldn't find the fire.
Yeah.
And we spent 20 minutes in there looking, and finally one of the guys happened to notice something hanging off, and it was going into the couch between the seat and the arm.
Yeah.
He reached down in there and it was a lithium battery from a toy.
Toy.
You know, so I'm an old timer. I think lithium batteries are very scary because people stick them, like if you're in the garage, all your lawn equipment now, that runs on lithium batteries and they'll throw those batteries in the chargers and they just walk away and let them sit there for weeks and
Yeah.
And electric vehicles that, you know, you got to park them outside because they're afraid of fires and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into it because, like I said, I haven't studied the latest technology. To me, as an old timer, they're scary.
Yeah, right. So Fire Prevention Week kicked off on Sunday, runs through the 11th, and go online and find out what kind of precautions you need to take when it comes to batteries in your phone, your car, your toys, that sort of thing. Something else that took place this past weekend on Saturday, sort of a dual event at the Orion Veterans Memorial, where residents were invited to come up to meet with a veteran, have some cider and donuts and coffee, but they also had a flag retirement ceremony. And so there were members of the community who came out, and it was a very, I was kind of surprised to see that it was kind of a formal ceremony, and it was really nice to see. Describe what happened on Saturday.
Well, when we broke off to go to the flag ceremony, it's like you said, it seems very formal. It is. You go up and you get the flag, you salute whoever's handing them out, you salute it, you get the flag, you salute again, you go over to the fire pit and you put it in the fire and you salute it again. It's just showing that the respect for the flag and that. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I caution people, is not burn nylon flags.
Yeah.
It's not a law against doing it, but it gives off such a toxic smoke and everything. The best thing to do is cut the stars off the flag, and then it renders it a useless symbol and stuff. So.
Yeah.
But there's drop-off points. We have a drop-off point up at Orion Veterans Memorial and other places where if you have a tattered flag, you should take it down as soon as it gets tattered if you're flying it. And that's showing disrespect if you don't do that.
Yeah.
And then they'll either get them to us or get them someplace. I do know if you go online, it'll say Home Depot and some of your big box stores will take them and recycle them, but I checked our local Home Depot and they don't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I was told that there were over 300 flags that had to be retired this year. Do you only do this ceremony once a year? Because
Yes.
It seems like if you're going to get that many flags, You might want to do it more than once a year.
Well, no, that's true. We would like to, but you know, at the same time, what do we do every 6 months, and then we don't get them, and then the last 6 months we get a bunch, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like me, I change my flags every Memorial Day unless sooner. So Memorial Weekend, my flags always get changed at home. So you know, maybe I wouldn't catch the first half, but I'd have a couple for the second half of the year and that. So
one thing I noticed that I thought was interesting is during the ceremony, the flag that was brought out and displayed, you know, you call it the colors, displaying the colors. It was worn and tattered, but it was that flag was to symbolize worn and tattered flags, and that was the first one that was retired in the ceremony afterwards. So it's kind of interesting to see that.
yeah.
So now, speaking of the VFW, recently there was a car show at Gowling Buick GMC, and whenever they do a car show, it usually benefits a local nonprofit organization, and the most recent car show benefited the VFW. So I'm sure the organization is grateful for that, and the Veterans Memorial. So I was there with the camera and shot some video and did some interviews. Let's take a look at that now. On the morning of Saturday, September 27th, Gowling Buick GMC hosted the last big car cruise of the season at their dealership on Lapeer Road. Known as the Super Cruise, owners of classic cars, muscle cars, and sports cars filled the parking lot to capacity, enjoying food and music from DJ Rock and Ronnie, as well as a live band.
It's been a long time. It's been pre-COVID. We were just talking about that with some other people. It was pre-COVID before we had cars like this. I mean, we've got like 130 cars here. We've never had that many. I can't thank them enough. I'm just tickled pink. I mean, I didn't expect this. I mean, I know Mr. Cooper said, "Oh, we're going to get 200." I looked at him, okay, yeah, that sounds good. But we're up there 130, 140. So I'm really happy.
Back in July, Gowling organized a car cruise in downtown Lake Orion, benefiting the police department's Kids and Cops program. For the Super Cruise, North Oakland VFW Post 334 and the Orion Veterans Memorial benefited from the huge turnout.
We like to help them out every year. That's usually the last car show of the year is for them. And hopefully they're going to make a lot of money to, you know, help that area stay as beautiful as it is.
I've seen a couple of guys roaming around selling tickets. In what ways are they raising money?
They're raising money with a 50-50. We have a raffle. We have all sorts of stuff going on, but it's basically 50-50 and a raffle.
Okay, this car show, we do it every year, about this time of year, for the Lake Orion Veterans Memorial. With this money, it all goes in donations towards what we do down there. One for maintenance and the other for, we're always building something new. And we do all of that things in the memorial by the VFW and the board of the memorial. So there's no public taxes, there's no money being paid by anybody. It's totally by the VFW and or the memorial community that runs the memorial. Because they got all kinds of programs down there trying to raise funds to keep that memorial in Lake Orion.
What can you say to the folks here at Gowling for helping you contribute to the cause?
Well, Gowling opens this parking lot up for us for every year to help us raise the funds we need. As I was coming in, they're taking more new cars out of the way, so let's get some of these older cars. I think this is the best one we've had. Not this year, but probably the best one we've had ever.
Coming up on the calendar, Gowling Buick GMC will be hosting a Trunk or Treat event at the dealership on Wednesday, October 22nd, beginning at 6 p.m., followed by the Holly Jolly Folly on Friday, December 5th, which benefits the annual Orion Lighted Christmas Parade. From Gowling Buick GMC, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
Hey, we're really glad you caught us today. Rochelle Beckmeyer is here with us in the studio, and she wants to invite you to upcoming craft shows in the area. Pastor Rochelle, we're so glad you stopped by today at the ONTV studio. Tell us what Heartwise is.
Thank you, Penny. So Heartwise Workshop is a workshop for folks with disabilities. They come to Echo Christian Fellowship on Fridays from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we make various products out of materials and supplies that have been donated. So donated crayons, pencils, whatever, also egg cartons. So I wanted to just show you briefly the kinds of things that we make. Depending on what's donated, that's what determines what we make. So part of the creativity is in us brainstorming, well, what can we make out of this? So we've had a lot of egg cartons donated and a lot of yarn. And so in here is also some lint and what do you call it? Cinnamon sticks and pine cones. We grind them up, and a little bit of scent, and then a little bit of wax to keep it burning. So it burns about 5 to 10 minutes, gets you a wonderful fire. And it smells wonderful too.
So they're fire starters.
They are fire starters. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So that's one of the things we make. We also make bookmarks, and these are made out of packaging materials. We had hundreds of headbands donated, believe it or not, just random things that get donated. And so what are we going to do with these headbands? Well, the headbands we wove together to make hot pads, but the inserts, we use the packaging too. The inserts of the headbands we turned into bookmarks. They go just about the right size for a bookmark. And so we usually either put scripture on them or just the artwork that our artists make, and then we also put some information about the Heartwise Workshop on the background, back of the bookmarks as well. Any other questions,
Yes.
Penny? You look like you're curious.
What do you have here with the
Yes.
lights?
Oh, yes. So you may or may not be able to see it on the TV, but this has fairy lights inside of it. We also had hundreds of jars donated, and so we looked at these jars and said, they look like luminaries to us. So
Yes.
what we do is we lay out a whole bunch of supplies, different flowers and other ribbons and all kinds of things that are laid out, and then our artists put together a luminary. So every luminary is unique. We also try to include scripture because we want our items to be inspirational as well and encourage relationship with God. And then, of course, the light itself encourages relationship with God, being that He is the light of the world. And it's just a fairy light that we stick inside of there, and it comes on and off. And these are battery powered that you can replace the batteries. And so we sell these at our craft shows as well.
So craft shows, where are those?
So we were at Oxford this past summer, and we'll do it
good.
again next year, Oxford
Okay.
Market in downtown Oxford. We were at the Orion Art and Flower Show. So those community shows that pop up, we try to get in there and get in there as have our own booth. Our next is on September 14th, and that's going to be at Kensington in Clarkston. And so I don't have the address, but we'll get that. Make sure that's out there for you. So that'll be that. They just established that show. It's going to be on a Sunday. And so we just kind of try to pop up wherever we can. We do have a website, which we'll make sure gets onto the screen, and you can find out when our next show is.
Heartwise
there.
has their own website.
Yes, Heartwise Workshop.
Okay,
it's
great.
heartwise-workshop.com.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And people can see what's going on with the artists.
Yes. Yep.
All
And
right.
so we have a variety of abilities. Some of our artists do like the artwork. We have one lady, her name is Joy, and she paints. She
I
does
love
a lot.
Joy.
Isn't she great? And she does
Yes.
a lot of the artwork for the bookmarks. And then we have another person named Larry, and he's like, I'm not into painting. He doesn't really care for that much. So he does a lot of our service projects. We get donations of toilet paper. So we get paint donated, but we also get toilet paper donated, and so he will bag those up for us so they can put them into our pantry.
I love it.
Yeah, yep. And so everybody has something that they can do at
That's
the Heartwise
fantastic.
Workshop.
So thank you so much. We're glad you stopped by to make sure that people know to look
Yes.
for you out at the craft shows.
Wonderful. Thank you, Penny.
Thank you, Pastor Rochelle.
All right, so joining us now is Janet Bloom from the DDA.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Looking spectacular in downtown Lake Orion. Have you noticed all the flowers and everything downtown?
Yes.
It looks great. I think it's just never looked better, and I'm sure the DDA plays a huge role in that. So thanks for joining us today.
Yes,
And,
thank you.
Let's talk about reasons to go into downtown Lake Orion. Let's start off with next week, a week from Wednesday, is the Halloween extravaganza, which is something I look forward to every year. Talk about what families can expect this year.
Oh, so we do expect around 1,500 to 2,000 that come down, flock right down into downtown Lake Orion. It's a great event. We have over 40 businesses that be passing out treats to our kids. And what we brought back last year, which was very popular, was the costume parade.
Yeah.
So we're going to have people meet up at the Village Hall parking lot right there at Church and Anderson, and we'll walk down Anderson Street through the Children's Park, and yeah, we'll have cider and donuts there, spooky music going, just a lot of fun activities.
That's awesome. What time does the parade start? What time does everyone need to be there?
So the event itself runs 5 to 8 because we know not everybody's going to do the parade, especially if really, really tiny ones. But hey, we want to welcome everybody. It's all ages for the parade. So you would meet at the Village Hall at 5:30, and we step off at 6 o'clock.
That's awesome. I love it. It's such a great visual, and to see everyone just marching their way down the street. And it's something that I had really enjoyed in the past, but then, you know, the Halloween event sort of underwent some changes over the years, but things are finally sort of coming back to the way things were, and I think it's bigger and better than ever. Talk about what's going to be in Children's Park.
Yeah, so we are going to have a DJ playing some great music, and we'll have cider and donuts, and we have about a handful of businesses that may not be within the downtown proper but want to participate in the event. So hot cocoa and other treats. Orion Art Center is going to have a craft activity for kids to participate in. So it's just a really great way to, you know, get the kids out and enjoy this time of year.
Yeah, and you said that there are going to be businesses along Broadway and Flint that are going to be handing out trick-or-treat candy and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we will post a trick-or-treat trail map.
Yeah.
And it will indicate where to go to, and don't want to miss out on anything, right?
Right. And costumes are mandatory, right?
Oh, yes. And you know what? I love it when I see families that they are themed out together, mom and dad, even grandma and grandpa that are decorated head to toe in costume.
Yeah.
It's just a fun day out. So
It is.
Yeah.
I feel like the Halloween season officially gets underway with Zombie Walk. We did Zombie Walk a couple of weeks ago, and this year I think there were about 30 zombies roaming the streets, and that's always a good time. So it's fun to see all these events happening in downtown Lake Orion. Talk about Witches Night. Start off with the history of Witches Night.
Ooh, well, I know that it originally started with Oxford, and then Lake Orion tagged on with that, and it has been great ever since. So running the trolley in between.
Oh, yeah.
The event runs 5 to 10 o'clock at night, and again, it's for men and women, so bring out the witches, bring out the warlocks. It's a great evening out. We have restaurants that get into the theme as far as beverages and different drinks and the meals that they have, and really theme that out. In fact, on my way over here, I heard from Sick Town Hall that they're going to do a witches costume contest.
Oh, wow.
They're going to do a witches night dance party from 9 till midnight. So even after our event ends, and some other themed activities that they're doing there too. So it's just a great night out. We have prizes that we give out. Different locations will be having activities like psychic and other activities such as that, some fun spooky stuff. And we just really decorate the downtown as far as just making a really fun, witchy themed night out. So.
Yeah. Is it free to participate, or how does someone get involved?
It is. So yeah, no barrier there. So come down, enjoy, check out the shops that are open late and welcoming to everybody to come in. And a lot of them are doing their individual activities or different sales within their shops. So maybe it's looking under a witch's cauldron to find out how much you get off for your purchase.
That's awesome. That's really great.
Yeah.
Do you know yet what trick-or-treating hours are going to be on Halloween night?
I do not. That's a good question.
happen
I
to
should
know?
have that.
It's always been 6 to 8 in the
Is it
past.
6 to 8? Okay.
Yes, but I've been out of the loop of things. But it was always 6 to 8.
Do you find on Halloween night that the businesses tend to stay open and hand out candy on Halloween night, or do
No,
they?
I think they really concentrate on the extravaganza. Yeah,
Okay.
because I think a lot of them are heading home with their families and trying to
That's
get their
true.
neighborhood.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of the Halloween season, but it's on November 1st, I'm sure everyone's going to switch into holiday mode. Let's kind of take a look into the future and what's going to be happening to celebrate the holidays in downtown Lake Orion.
Yeah, so we're going to have the Sing and Stroll that will be coming up November 20th. And again, it's just it really just celebrates the sense of community and hometown, kind of that hallmark feel that we have in downtown Lake Orion, where we do the tree lighting ceremony and we have different performances that happen, get a chance to sing along to Christmas carols. So again, it just really envelopes as far as our community with that event. So
Are you going to have the horse-drawn wagons back?
took the words right out of my
I
mouth
beat you
there.
to it, yeah.
We will have the horse and wagon back, and that's always a favorite treat.
That's awesome. And usually right around that time, too, the Orion Art Center has their holiday market. So that's another
do.
reason to come downtown, yeah.
Yeah, and if I have it correctly, I think they're opening up November, I believe it's the 29th, which is the same time that we're doing the Shop Small Day. So
Yeah.
right after Thanksgiving on that Saturday, Shop Small Saturday, come down and support local and buy local and help our downtown merchants out. So
That's terrific.
great way to support the local economy.
Now, fairly recently, I was invited to do an updated tour of the lumber yard and was just blown away by the progress that's been made over there. It's really coming along nicely. Do you have any updates on what's going on over at the lumber yard?
Yeah, so as of right now, we have a handful of businesses that are eager to join in the project. Again, the whole purpose of that was to have a public and private development of that site. And so we are working on kind of filling the rosters for that. So exciting stuff to come.
One of the things I'm most excited about, I don't know if you've heard this, but the main office building, which is now kind of a mint green color, is, there's a proposed bakery coming in, right?
Yeah,
That's the word on the street?
That's the word on the street. So again, until I say the ink is dry on paper, that's currently what we have that we're looking forward to. So yeah.
Now, I'm going to jump the gun a little bit because we're going to talk more about this in a few minutes, but recently you had some visitors touring downtown Lake Orion, and I'm sure you were proud to show it off. There's an organization called America in Bloom, national organization, which encourages towns and cities to spruce up with flowers and plants and all sorts of stuff. And Lake Orion is leading by example. I mean, talk about showing off downtown to these visitors.
Well, excuse me, first of all, it's a great resource for like the DDA ourselves to look at the different projects that they have and to gain knowledge off of what they offer. But for us, we were so happy to welcome them into our community. It was led by Orion Township, and we were one of the stops as far as the tours. And so on that Friday evening, we welcomed them in downtown. We had 8 volunteers that took each bus load and did a tour through downtown. And just really showcased what we had going on in downtown Lake Orion. So the photos that we saw from the different folks that took the tour, the comments that we received, and even after everybody returned back home and still hearing messages back, again, everybody put their best foot forward, our merchants, our residents, our volunteers, and we were very proud of what we offered and able to show off our downtown.
Yeah. Now, one thing, I want to kind of put you on the spot here. When I talk to people about the flowers and the hanging baskets and everything in Lake Orion, the response I get from most people is, I can't get my flowers to look like that. What is your secret?
Our
What is the
secret sauce?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that might come with a little bit of a bill with that. I have to say, first of all, we work with a great provider that gives us our hanging baskets. And it's something, I mean, really, they start planting those in February time and getting everything planned out. We start talking now about what we want to see as far as color and types of plants that we want to use. So really the secret sauce was making sure they're water, but make sure that you're fertilizing with each water. That was the secret sauce this year. And we had Zeke, who's from the Lake Orion High School, who's been busy working downtown. I know many people got a chance to meet him and see him early in the morning before school or over the summertime. down there with the ATV and watering our hanging baskets and the beautiful ones that we have from picnics that are
Yeah.
in the urns at the intersection of Flint and Broadway. Flint Street Alley looks absolutely amazing.
It does.
Yeah, so so that was the secret sauce. Make sure you're fertilizing with that water.
Basically, what I'm hearing is you're seeing, Lake Orion High School seniors are doing photos down there,
Yes.
and it's just a great place for photo ops and a place to visit. And
Yes.
what's amazing about the picnics displays that they have there is they just don't sit there all year long. They kind of change with the seasons a little
They
bit
do.
and reflect the time of the year, and it's really impressive to see.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have that partnership with them. And I tell you, just this year, it was just extraordinary how they looked.
Yeah, looked great. If anyone has any questions, wants any more information, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, they can. We certainly have our socials. So Downtown Lake Orion, we're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Find our website at Downtown Lake Orion. Again, we are also putting out the open call to join our illuminators. If you remember from Dragon on the Lake, we launched our volunteer program.
Yeah.
So we're matching people to their passion, and it's not just filling a spot. It's like, what would you like to work on? So they can reach out to us about that too.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, you and Matt and the DDA, you're doing a great job in downtown
Thank
Lake
you.
Orion. It's just proud to live here.
It is.
When I show people video of the area, they go, "I want to live there," and I'm like, "You do live here." It's just spectacular. So great work over there.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
The Lake Orion High School sports season, the fall season's underway. Unfortunately, the Dragons varsity football team is having a rough go of it. I don't think they have a win yet. They recently hosted their rivals, the Oxford Wildcats, in a game that was fairly close. But the Dragons came away with a loss, and the 00 trophy went back to Oxford. But here's Joey Tysek from ONTV to give us a high school sports fall update.
Hello and welcome to Lake Orion Sports Update. I'm your host Joey Tysek, and today we will give updates on the fall sports season as we highlight boys soccer, flag football, and varsity football. The Lake Orion boys varsity soccer team's regular season has come to a close and now look towards districts. But first, let's take a look at how they did in their final 6 games. On September 22nd, the Dragons went on the road to play Rochester and beat them handily with a 4-0 victory. The next day, they would return home to face off against Grand Blanc, who was in their district bracket, so it was a good test, and they were able to win that game as well with a final of 1-0. On September 25th, they had a rivalry matchup with Oxford and OAA Red opponent. The first half was a bit of a defensive matchup as both teams struggled to put shots on net, and neither team getting a chance to score until Oxford found net with 5.5 minutes to play in the first half. It was a fantastic team goal with some fancy passing, and Lake Orion had an opportunity to kick it out and just missed on the ball. The second half was beginning to look similar to the first, where both teams couldn't get much going. There was definitely some more aggression throughout on the field as the teams were pushing for the win. Lake Orion was finally able to get on the board with under 20 minutes to play off of a great ball just above the blue line from Austin Negri, tying the game 1-1. Then just 2 minutes later, Lake Orion had a nice header that just barely missed, but rebounded and found its way to JP Piccirilli to give Lake Orion the lead. Oxford began to threaten a few times after that, but Lake Orion's defense was able to stop the close attempts. And then, with 2 minutes to play, Lake Orion was able to put the game away off of a Chris Luna goal that was set up by Piccirilli's corner kick to put Oxford away 3-1. Lake Orion was then home once again for a game against Bloomfield Hills, who was atop the OAA White standings. Lake Orion had the lead in the first half 1-0 and was able to go up 2-0 early in the second half. However, Bloomfield was able to get their first goal with 34 minutes left in the game, and then they were just able to keep it going throughout the second half. They scored the tying goal with 15 minutes left, and then did not let up, scoring 2 more goals, 4 straight goals, and stymieing the Dragon offense to win the game 4-2. Definitely a tough loss for the Dragons, but also a good reminder that you have to bring your A game every night. Lake Orion then finished out their season with a 2-2 tie with Birmingham Seaholm, who was in the top half of the OAA Red, and then ended their season with a 0-0 tie against Warren de La Salle, who was also very good. Those two opponents will help Lake Orion as they prepare for the first round of districts against Davison this Thursday, October 9th. The game will be a home game for the Dragons, so come out and support the team. If you are unable to attend, ONTV cameras will be there to cover the game. The Lake Orion girls flag football team had their final home game of the season on September 26th against Troy Athens. They came into the game sitting at 2-0 on their inaugural season and were looking to keep the momentum going into next year as well. Lake Orion struck first with a touchdown from a 66-yard run to go up early. Lake Orion followed that score up with a big run from Sailor Papadelis for Lake Orion's second score. Troy Athens looked good moving the ball throughout the game, but could never put a complete drive together as a couple mistakes really hurt them throughout the game. Just before the end of the first half, Papadelis scored another touchdown to give the Dragons the 20-0 lead going into halftime. Lake Orion got their fourth touchdown of the game off a great catch from Peyton Hervey. This would lead to the final score of 27-0. Lake Orion would finish off their season with a win against Troy, completing the undefeated season, going 4-0 on the year. We cannot wait for this flag football team next year as the league continues to grow and hopefully be fully approved by the OAA and MHSAA. Lake Orion varsity football has had one of their toughest seasons in a long time. They started their season 0-4 and were now looking at a home matchup against Oxford on September 26th, a game they desperately needed to win before they headed on the road to Clarkston and Rochester Adams. Oxford struck first late in the first quarter after Connor Hickey catches a pass and laterals it to his teammate Keaton Pochas for the fourth down touchdown. Seth Tabor would punch in the 1-yard run on Oxford's ensuing drive, giving them the early 14-0 lead. Lake Orion was able to respond early into the second quarter as Brody Thompson hit Ryan Rushellow in the middle of the end zone for the Dragons' first score. Just before the end of the half, Oxford quarterback Jack Hendricks throws another touchdown pass to Hickey, giving Oxford the 2-score lead once again. Coming out of the half, the team's defenses did their jobs, making plenty of stops until Hendricks threw another touchdown, this time to Brody Casper to take a 28-6 lead. Lake Orion was finally able to respond again with a short touchdown run from Wesley Pratt and then run in the 2-point conversion as well. Lake Orion then got a big stop that forced Oxford to punt, and it came up short, giving Lake Orion great field position. Anderson Adams took the snap this time and threw a nice pass to Rushellow for his second touchdown of the night. Lake Orion was just within one score. Unfortunately, Oxford responded right away. Christopher Pullman evaded multiple tackles for the 57-yard touchdown run, once again giving Oxford the 2-score lead. However, Lake Orion wasn't done yet. Adams threw a quick touchdown to none other than Ryan Rushellow for his third score of the night. But once again, Oxford had answers. Pullman once again escapes tackles and gets a 47-yard touchdown to seal the game. Lake Orion did get one more score as Anderson Adams scored a rushing touchdown late, but Lake Orion couldn't get the onside kick, falling to the Wildcats 34-41. After that, Lake Orion would go on the road to Clarkston and falling to them 21-42 after Lucas Bowman had a couple of big rushing touchdowns and Lake Orion's defense just not able to make any stops. Lake Orion now sits at 0-6 with the Rochester Adams coming up on the road, which is another tough matchup. Following that, they will play Oak Park on October 17th for their homecoming game, and as usual, Lake Orion ends off the year at Saline, another brutally tough opponent. Lake Orion's playoff hopes are basically over at this point, and it's time to start looking a bit towards next year. They want to try and finish out the season strong, but build some momentum going into a tough offseason. Good luck, Dragons. For even more Lake Orion sports, check out our YouTube channel for our full game coverage. Visit youtube.com and search for Orion Neighborhood Television. Also make sure to catch all of our replays Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, all at 7 p.m. We'll see you next time.
So the Dragons, the varsity football, they have one more away game, I believe, this Friday, and then they return home the next week for homecoming. So let's hope they get a win on homecoming. I think they really need it. And so this upcoming Sunday, is the homecoming parade in downtown Lake Orion. So that's always a lot of fun. And then there's a week of activities at the schools, and the Powder Puff football game is on Thursday, the homecoming football game on Friday, and then the homecoming dance on Saturday. So it's going to be a fun week for Dragons this week.
Yeah, it's always been great what they put on in that.
Yeah.
Especially when they started the homecoming parade on Sunday instead of the night of.
Yeah, it kind of kicks off the entire week. Yeah. You know, one thing I do miss, and I don't know if they'll ever bring this back, but there was a time when all the classes would build floats. And I was told that things got really competitive and that the classes were sabotaging each other's floats, and and toilet papering each other's homes and stuff like that.
I can't believe the kids would do that.
So they brought that practice to an end, but I kind of miss it because when I was in high school, and I'm sure when you were in high school, that was something I looked forward to every year was the float building parties and making the tissue paper carnations to decorate the floats with. And so that was a fun tradition. I hope they can bring it back someday.
Well, maybe they will. You know, I'm sure you know it, but for a lot of years, we weren't able to play Oxford in football because of the competition.
It just got that bad?
Yeah, and they just come back a few years. It's been a few years now, but that was something. So.
Wow. Yeah, and now we all seem united. I mean, there's still a rivalry there, but it's a more friendly rivalry between Oxford and Orion, which is nice to see.
Well, it's like when we were talking earlier about the trolley, bringing the two towns together. It just seems to have really gelled and made both of them together.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it. That's really great. Now, when Janet was here a moment ago, we were talking about the America in Bloom organization. Every year they would host a big national symposium that Orion Township would take part in. Well, Orion Township offered to host their symposium this year, and it was a couple weeks ago, and we had several hundred people from all over the country come to Orion Township, and they got a tour of the area. So the first stop was the Wildwood Amphitheater, where they had the stage in the grounds. They're all set up for a big luncheon. So several buses showed up at Wildwood, and they had a big lunch. Then they boarded these yellow school buses and went to several locations in the township and the village. One of them was the new Pocket Park on Baldwin in Pasadena. They call it the Heritage Park, and it's really beautiful. And the way it's laid out, where the pathways in the park, if you look at them from above, look like a tree. It's laid out like a tree. And so they're doing a really nice job, Orion Township, with that. Then the group would move over to Friendship Park, and they had several stops in Friendship Park. One of them was the Howarth School, which is currently being renovated by the Orion Historical Society. And their plan with the Howarth School is to open it up for events and to have school children come in and see what it was like attending school, you know, in the 30s and 40s and that sort of thing. And it was the first time I actually got to step inside the school, and it's really coming along nicely. It's really neat to see with the wooden floors, and there's a rope that you pull that rings the bell, you know, in the tower. Also at Friendship Park is the Miracle Field, which has really become a huge thing in Orion Township, where athletes with special needs can play barrier-free sports at Miracle Field, and it's really great what they're doing over there, and they have games on Saturday afternoon. The library was one of the stops of the America in Bloom tour, and again, I learned something I didn't know, that the library has fairly recently added a book sorting mechanism where they now have a drive-through window open, and people drop off books and they just automatically get sorted into bins, and then the librarians can restock them back on the shelves. I never saw that before the tour. And then, of course, the grounds that are surrounding the library, the reading garden and all that stuff. It's really spectacular what they're doing over at the library. And then another stop on the tour is Camp Agawam. The group had access to the beach there at Tommy's Lake. And probably the one thing that the group seemed most impressed with is the Fire Bowl, the outdoor amphitheater at Camp Agawam, with the stage and the seating, the stadium seating there at Camp Agawam. I'm so glad that the township has preserved and saved Camp Agawam. And then the final stop of the day was downtown Lake Orion. They got to kind of peer inside the lumberyard project and see what was going on there. They had volunteers, including the council president, Teresa Rutt, giving tours of downtown Lake Orion, and everything sort of ended up near the Arts Center there. But the visitors were really impressed with what the township and the village has to offer as far as the decorations in downtown Lake Orion and all the beautiful things that are happening in the township and the village. I was really proud to be part of that and see the reactions from these visitors from all over the country. It was really amazing.
Yes, and earlier, before the America in Bloom, the Michigan comes out, and they always stop at the Orion Veterans Memorial, and they're always impressed with that too. So
Yeah, that's something else that we should be proud to show off. That's really incredible.
it's one of the best that anybody that's across the country has seen it said it's one of the better ones. That
I agree. Yeah, I was there 30 years ago shooting video when they purchased the property and when they broke ground on the property, and each monument that they installed over the years, it's really amazing to see the progress on that. So.
Yes.
Now, part of the American in Bloom Symposium is that the American in Bloom has a YouTube video contest, and the township approaches me every year and says, can you put something together for their video contest? Well, not only did we win the first 2 years that we took part in it, but we have the three-peat. They announced during the symposium that we have won for the 3rd year in a row, and I go through my archival video that I've shot over the past year. The township provides a script. Chris Barnett does a hosting part on it. And so we submit it, we won again, and here's a look at this year's award-winning video.
Welcome to Orion Township, where nature, neighbors, and pride are always in full bloom.
America in Bloom has brought our community together in more ways than we could have ever even imagined. It's not just about the flowers, it's about friendship, a connection, and a sense of community pride. The #1 reason communities should get involved in America in Bloom is because it turns neighbors into partners and beautifies not just our town, but our spirit.
From students to seniors, America in Bloom inspires everyone to take part. It's a reason to roll up our sleeves, work side by side, and make something beautiful together. What makes Orion Township uniquely us? Our lakes, our trails, our vibrant parks, and a community spirit that's as strong as our roots. These efforts bring more than color to our streets. They bring visitors, support local businesses, and spark economic growth. A beautiful town is a thriving town.
3, 2, 1, light the tree!
Orion Township is blooming, and we are proud to be part of America in Bloom. We encourage every community to join us, because when you plant seeds of beauty, you end up growing so much more.
So I was proud to be part of that video, help put that together, and we've won 3 years in a row, and we might have to take a year off just to give someone else a chance. We seem to have pretty good luck with that competition. So congratulations, Orion Township. You hosted a fantastic symposium, and we're looking forward to next year. Let's go now. Let's take a look. We mentioned there's a lot of stuff happening in Lake Orion over the next week or so. Here's Becky with this week's Quick Hits.
Join the Orion Library on Friday for Pizza and Monster Movie Night. Enjoy a family night out with pizza and a family-friendly monster movie. Registration is required at orionlibrary.org. The doors open at 5:15. On Saturday, the library will be hosting Dragon Tales Story Time from 11 o'clock to noon. Join the library for a fun-filled hour of learning and creativity designed specifically for children in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Please register at orionlibrary.org. Mark your calendar, the Halloween extravaganza will be taking place on Wednesday, October 15th in downtown Lake Orion at Children's Park. Dress up in your costume, grab your candy bag, and come down to march in the parade and trick-or-treat with the local businesses. The event runs from 5 to 8 p.m. Registration is now open for ONTV's Wildwood Film Festival. Local filmmakers are challenged to produce a 10-minute movie in less than a week. The kickoff is Thursday, October 16th. The movies will be shown at the Oxford 7th Theater on Wednesday, October 22nd. For more information and registration, visit oriontv.org. Don't miss the Orion Parks and Rec's annual Boo Bash. The bash will be taking place on Friday, October 17th at the Great Lakes Athletic Club from 5 to 8 p.m. This event of Halloween fun will include cider and snacks, hay rides, trick-or-treating, carnival games, and more. Space is limited, so register today at orionparks.com. Looks like the fall temperatures have finally arrived. Wednesday's forecast is calling for sunny skies with a high of 60 and low 35. Mostly sunny on Thursday with a high of 60 and low 35. Partly cloudy on Friday with a high of 65, low 46. Mostly sunny on Saturday with a high of 69 and low 45. And mostly sunny skies on Sunday with a high of 72 and low 47. Well, that's it for this week's ONTV Quick Hit. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
So lots of fun stuff happening in the community over the next couple of weeks, celebrating our fall season. One thing we do want to promote that takes place next week, the same week of homecoming, is our ONTV Film Challenge Film Festival is returning next week. We're looking for teams to come in and take part in it. The goal is to put together a short film, 10 minutes or less, and we kick things off next Thursday, a week from Thursday, where we assign each team a prop, a line of dialogue, and a location that has to be included in your film. You'll pretty much have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to work on your film. They have to be turned in on Tuesday, where we'll have a panel of judges take a look at them. And then we've already reserved the Oxford Movie Theater, Oxford 7, where we will show all of the movies on the big screen. So invite your friends and family to come out and see your work on the big screen. I got a text this morning from someone asking if it cost anything to watch the films. No, the film festival is free on Wednesday the 22nd. So bring your family and friends to watch your work on the big screen, and then we'll hand out awards at the end to first, second, and third place finishers. So it's one of my favorite events that ONTV does every year, and we always have a great turnout. And as a matter of fact, a film that won last year, we submitted for a regional award, and they won a regional award as well. So wow. We're getting some really high quality stuff turned in by local filmmakers. A lot of them are students at the high school. So make sure you reach out to us if you want to take part in the film festival. It's a lot of fun. So it is not this week, but the following week. Also on Tuesday, we have what we call a short film boot camp. If you're not sure how to go about shooting a short film, we'll have a little boot camp where we go over some rules and tips and tricks of putting together your short film. So what we're going to do, we're going to sign off now. We're going to say goodbye, but before we do that, we just want to, I want to thank you, Bob, for coming out today.
Well,
and
thank you for having me.
And hope you enjoyed it. And it was a lot of fun. It went by fast.
Yeah, I hope that I didn't mess up too bad. You can invite me again.
No, you did a great job. We'll put you in our rotation there.
Okay.
So what we want to leave you with is a video from last year's film festival, where you get to see the winners and how it was all put together. So we'll see you in 2 weeks with our Halloween episode of Orion Today. And until then, good night.
Good night.
On the evening of Wednesday, October 23rd, local filmmakers and their friends and family members arrived at GQT Oxford 7 Theater for ONTV's 11th Wildwood Film Festival. Things actually kicked off on October 17th when 11 teams arrived at the ONTV studio to receive instructions for the film Challenge. Then they had 4 days to plan, write, shoot, and edit a short film not to exceed 10 minutes in length. On October 22nd, a panel of judges viewed all 11 films and awarded points in categories like cinematography, sound, and editing. The films were shown on the big screen at the film festival, and the winners were announced afterwards. And for the first time, 2 films received the same score and shared the second place award. The team known as the Fab Five earned $75 for their submission, Anatidaephobia, which is the irrational fear of being watched by a duck or goose.
Team members went to the ONTV meeting to discuss the requirements for our film, and I think about half hour to an hour after, we all met over Teams on the school night for at least hour and a half, 2 hours, and just brainstormed. We wrote down all these ideas, and I believe it was our team member Camden who had suggested that we Google anatidaephobia. Took us a minute to put that in a talk-to-text and figure out how to say it. And and then, yeah, we crafted that into a whole storyline of someone, having a motive of what to do with their day, but this damn duck keeps following them, and so, yeah.
Writing a joke with my friends and then having that on the screen and seeing people laugh made me so happy. I like making people laugh, and it makes me happy to hear that other people were able to laugh at something that we worked on.
And then to hear your team name announced, what was that like?
I was surprised. I didn't think we were going to win. I wasn't in this to win. I was just like, oh, Film Fest, I'm going to participate in this, it'll be fun. But seeing that we won, it was just so exciting.
It was really crazy because I know the movie is like really short compared to all the other ones, but it was just fun seeing like everybody react to it and actually like my work. So that was good.
What was your reaction when you heard, okay, there's a tie for second, and then your team name was announced?
I was not expecting that, to be honest. I thought we just did this for fun, honestly, and then it'd be cool to place, but we didn't actually I didn't expect me to place, but then we did, and so it's weird that I got placed tied with the other amazing movie, and we got second compared to the top movie, which was even greater. So.
Tying for second place was the film Death in Baseball, produced by Vincent Martacci and Cal Green of Cine Films. The team took first place in 2022 and 2023.
Dad prioritized you. He saw your talent, your skill. He saw how fierce you were. Your love for the game. Same love that he had for it.
I think me and Cal are both kind of dealing with grief this year. And I think that was kind of a trend that we wanted to really focus on. And also we wanted to do something really fun. We liked the idea of having Cal play the same 2 people. It was really, we thought it would be really fun looking to do. That's why I say, I actually teach videography at a school, and I always say, if you have a camera, you're already there. Make films. If you have the time to do this, you should do it. It's super fun. Being able to make a film within these parameters is a blast. Do it.
And named the winner of the 2024 Wildwood Film Festival was the team known as Team One, who produced the film It Just Takes One, about 2 students who form a friendship after experiencing loss. The first place finish netted them $140.
4 years. 4 years ago, I lost my best friend in a school shooting. Blake and I became friends playing Little League here. We just got along so well. And over the years, we grew closer and closer and closer, and we just had each other's backs,
We wanted to make a film that really kind of just impacted and touched people, that would help just make them feel good at the end of it. Together, collectively, yeah, there is a good background, and we just like to make film. We have the passion for it, so I think we just all hunkered down 5 days, and we said, hey, let's knock it out. Let's do what we can, and let's make it as good as we can. Something we want to be proud of, and something that people will enjoy watching.
I'm seeing it, and it came out better than I could have imagined. It was great, and I had such a fun time filming it. It was great to see us get #1. I was nervous, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
I was super excited to have everything that we put together over these past 5 days. It's been very chaotic and kind of stressful, really, because it was Monday night, came down to chop time, and we didn't think we were going to finish it, but we finished it. Yeah, we did, and I was just very excited.
You know, with the time that we had and the fact that we were able to put out something that we are all so proud of, I think I'm speaking for all of us with that you know, it felt really good to have 5 days and just put all our ideas into something and really get one collective piece of art, and it was really cool.
Congratulations to the winners and to everyone who submitted a film. All of them can be found on YouTube on the Orion ONTV channel. For information about upcoming classes and events, or to view videos on demand, you can visit orionontv.org. In Oxford, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.